I'm actually upright this week.
I know, right? All right, there's that. And we should be live on Facebook, which I don't see it yet.
So Tennessee at New England and Buffalo at Houston.
Yes.
Those are the first two games.
Correct. Yes, hang on.
Those are two games next week.
Yep, hang on. Well, here we are, folks. The sports nerds are here live on air. I'm assuming others joining us as the evening progresses, including Mr. Olson, which I don't know where he is at this moment. He's showing away on his chat right now, so we don't know what's going on. Anyway, hey, Brett, welcome to Week 17 of the NFL, gentlemen and ladies, whoever decides to join. Today was very, very eventful considering it was the last week of the season. You didn't expect a lot to happen, but there was still plenty of drama left to be played out. Brett's happy, and we'll get to that in a moment. I know why Brett's happy.
Brett's, you know what? Brett's probably wearing a Miami Dolphins jersey.
Yeah, he's going to be a closet Dolphins fan for the next couple years. Fan. Correct. Yes, he'll be a closet Dolphins fan for the next couple of years. So we got that to look forward to.
But you know what? Like, New England doesn't get a bye for the first time in 11 years. Right?
That's a good thing.
Yeah. And Tennessee is going to be the 6th seed, which means they're going to have to play in New England.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what, the way Tennessee finished up the
New England doesn't want anything to do with Tennessee right now.
And the way Henry runs and the way that defense is playing and the way Tannehill has stepped up since week 8 or 7 or whenever he came. Okay, he was my fantasy MVP for this league. So that's all I got to say on that one. But, yeah, Tennessee can go up there and pull an upset.
Mm-hmm.
What would that do to the NFL? Yep. Tennessee's got some history with New England, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember, they've been at the butt end of New England shit for a long time. Huh?
What's the matter?
You're going to have to wait.
Okay.
You have to wait about 90 seconds or however far behind you are.
All right, let's make this. I'm still setting up here. Just give me a second. We'll get into the meat of this stuff. Hey, Jen. We'll show you the matchups as we will know them in 3 minutes or 18 seconds, and the seeding that will be all locked up as soon as Tennessee wins this game. Jen, how you doing? Jennifer Danielle. You get to see me again tomorrow, Jen. I will be back to work tomorrow, so I hope you miss me. I was off all week this week. So anyway,
for a whole 2 days,
right? Actually, I was off. I've been off since we go last Friday. It's past Friday, so 9 days in a row.
All right, tee it up.
So let's start with the shocking result of the day. The Miami Dolphins go into Foxborough and beat the New England Patriots for the first time since, I think, 2005, if I'm not mistaken, if that's what it was.
Yeah, 15 seasons.
Yeah. It's been 15 seasons since
Miami won a game in New England.
And no, Jenna, did not hear what happened to her at work on Friday. I may not want to know what happened to her at work on Friday, but either way, I'm sure I'll find out soon enough. I would think so. Anyway,
does Ryan Fitzpatrick deserve some kind of –
You mean Mr. Fitzmagic?
Yes.
As we all like to call him, Fitzmagic?
I mean, that guy is just freaking incredible. He took What did Miami finish? 7-9?
No, they ended up, I think,
6-10?
5-11. I think they ended up 5-11. To be honest,
Okay, it don't matter. They won like what 6?
they were
5 out of their last 7.
There was a stat that Miami was 4. They were 4-4 the last 8 weeks of the season. So I think
Fitzpatrick was playing like pick a quarterback, pick a legend, and that's what Fitzpatrick was playing from the middle to the end of this season. I mean, he was putting up constantly 3-4 touchdowns and about 400 yards for weeks. And
really, yep.
And agreed. The Dolphins upset some people. They upset the apple cart in some places with those victories.
Yes.
Oh, there goes Henry.
That's a good sign. Hey, Titans win. I'm happy. Pittsburgh's out. I'm good.
He just won the rushing title.
Well, it's because Nick Chubb didn't do dick today. And I will get into that later if we have a larger audience later.
Anyway, it's over. 35-14, Tennessee. They're headed to New England next week, either Saturday or Sunday. You know, we'll have to see how that works out. And then Buffalo's on their way to Houston.
Yes, Buffalo's on their way to Houston, which I think Buffalo can actually win that game, to be honest.
I think so, too, because Houston hasn't been very impressive lately, and Buffalo has a good enough defense to rattle Deshaun Watson.
Correct.
Okay. Because, you know what? Deshaun Watson, if I would have lost the fantasy title, he would have been part of the major blame for it.
He didn't do much for you this year, did he?
Well, no, he did a lot for me this year. Okay, until like I started losing. When I went 10-0 to start, and then I lost a couple games, and that's when his level of play started tailing off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, figure that. On the bye week, my team scored 255 points. I didn't even sniff 200 in the weeks that I played.
Hey, Katie, congratulations on your number 3 seed in the NFC. Or would that be a 2 seed, depending on what happens tonight? But yeah, I mean, Fitzpatrick he put that team on his shoulders and willed them to win that game today.
You see what he did, Deshaun Watson, when he went to play in Baltimore. That was a disgrace.
Yeah.
Single-digit fantasy points.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And in this game here, where he had the worst pass defense in the NFL.
In the championship game last week, you mean?
Yeah. And he only scored me 12 points.
Uh-huh.
That's why I told you, Ryan Tannehill, MVP for me in the championship and getting me there, basically.
Yeah.
You know, but I think my total MVP for the season would have to be Dalvin Cook, because that boy played. He
played good this year. I mean, he didn't play the last couple of weeks of the season.
Almost lost him. Boone was a week late.
Yeah.
You see he put up 24 today?
Yeah.
But I look back at your game with Jamal.
Yeah.
And he still would have lost by a point had Boone had that kind of game last. Ain't that something?
Yeah. Yeah, I know, Katie. The Packers didn't play very well against the Lions. They played just well enough to win the last second.
No, they just played well enough to let the Lions hang themselves.
Hang themselves, exactly.
Like they always do.
Oh, gosh. Aaron played well, but he had no help. That was the problem. The defense wasn't getting much help at all either.
You know what a Green Bay-Detroit game looks like? It looks like a cat fucking around with a mouse. Mouses all over the place. I swear to God. You know, he throws the fucking rat up in the air. And then
it takes him 3 hours to kill the damn – it takes 3 hours to kill the damn thing.
He plays hacky sack with the motherfuckers. And then he decides to kill it and leave the tail laying somewhere.
Yeah, right.
That's what that looks like when Green Bay is playing Detroit.
Yep. I don't know where John is tonight, folks. He hasn't responded to my invite. Neither is Kenny. John or Bob may or may not be here later. I don't know. It depends on what his condition is.
I think John might be.
He might be doing something with the family. He might be,
psyching himself up for next week.
Who knows?
I know the Bills didn't play their starter, but hey, the Bills didn't play their starters today. But hey, the Jets finished 7-9. That's not too bad.
After starting out 1-7, hell no, it's not bad. They finished 6-2 on the year. That's last second half of the season.
That's right.
So they should be a force to reckon with next year, provided depending on whether or not they keep their coach or not, because there's going to be a coaching carousel come tomorrow.
Oh, somebody made a prediction, dude. David Johnson is going to rush for 1,500 yards next year.
Really?
With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, Jesus.
Bruce is going to bring him back. He's going to bring him
Bruce
home.
knows how to use them. That's for damn sure.
That's what I'm saying.
This guy Cliff Kingsbury doesn't know what the hell to do with him.
If Arians picks up this dude, David Johnson,
yeah,
and you put David Johnson with Rojo,
yeah, that's a good combination. Provided Winston will stop throwing interceptions. Too.
No, you need to get rid of Winston.
They're not going to draft a quarterback. They're not going to pick up a free agent. I think they're going to franchise tag Jameis.
They should trade him and Mike Evans to Cincinnati for their first round pick.
For their first overall pick.
Yeah. And take Joe Burrow. Give him Jameis and Mike Evans, because Mike Evans is so fucking undependable. It ain't even fucking funny.
Yeah, I know. Jennifer Nito in the house. Hey, Jen, Pixie. And Brett asked if Matt Patricia's the fix. You know, the Detroit Lions have had almost as many head coaches the last 20 years as the Cleveland Browns have. So I don't know who the fix is in Detroit. Detroit's always been a train wreck. Ever since Barry Sanders left, they've always been a train wreck, and they were train wreck when Barry was there too. So
I think I have the solution for the Detroit Lions.
What trade?
It's called relocation. Oh, there goes. Oh.
I don't want to know.
No, you're gonna find out here in about 48.2 seconds, or however far behind you are.
That's a nice touchdown pass by the mustache.
The stash. You know, I think Jacksonville would have probably done better if this season wasn't interrupted by Nick Foles.
Well, I think they made a mistake bringing Nick Foles in to begin with.
Oh yeah. That wasn't a sensible signing at all. Nick Foles had 2 good games, 1 season.
Yep.
In the playoffs.
Yes.
He rolled a magic carpet.
Whoa!
You see that?
Let's go!
There you go, baby!
He's like 5'6" and a half. You know, I mean, and that's what he's wearing heels.
Dude, he's another Darren Sproles.
Yeah.
Only bigger and faster.
Wow.
That dude's going to be – that dude right there is going to cost Jordan Howard his job.
And he's like an undrafted rookie or undrafted free agent or something.
He's a walk-on, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted this dude. It's over, man. Philly's in. Goodbye, Dallas. All you Dallas fans.
Dallas is staying home for the playoffs. Peace out, Dallas.
Dallas is home for the playoffs, and New England has to play on the bye week.
Oh, it's going to be a great – it's a great season.
How great is that?
That is awesome.
And Pittsburgh got eliminated too.
Yes, because Tennessee's going to win.
Whooped up on
Bye-bye Pittsburgh. Sorry, Bob. Bye-bye Dallas. Sorry, Ken. And New England has to play on Wild Card Weekend.
For the first time in 11
which doesn't break my heart one bit.
Bye week.
Yes, Katie, the Eagles are in. Bob says he hates football, but give me 15 minutes. You hear that?
You want to see the lights go out in AT&T Stadium? Wait till they put the score up.
I know. Bob says he hates football, but give him 15 minutes, he'll be here.
That's too He's going to come on and sulk now.
Yes, Katie, that means the Eagles are in and the Cowboys are out because the Eagles just went up.
The Eagles are in and the Steelers are not. How's that for Pennsylvania?
Yes.
But then again, neither one of those two quarterbacks deserve to even sniff a playoff game.
No, the quarterbacks they had in Pittsburgh this year did not deserve to be anywhere near the playoffs. No, the Duck Man and
matter of fact, they shouldn't have even been allowed to buy tickets for the fucking game.
I know, right? You're blurry again. Fix your camera. It's fine. Yeah, the Eagles are beat up. The Eagles may be in, but they're limping into the playoffs. But that's all right. Elliot, you okay? No, I just lost Elliot. Can you guys still see here? Katie, the only reason we're celebrating the Eagles is because the Eagles being in mean that the Elliot froze. The reason why we're celebrating the Eagles is because the Eagles are in, the Cowboys are out. That's the reason why we're celebrating. Okay, thank you, Katie. That's why we're celebrating because I don't care who's in as long as the Cowboys are out. It's all that matters to me. So, you know. Hopefully Elliott comes back. I don't know what happened. Jason Garrett should be fired about 20 minutes after the clock reaches 0. But it'll probably be later in the week. Coaching carousel is going to happen. It's going to happen probably in Cleveland as well. Katie, I'm only celebrating the Eagles because the Cowboys are out. I don't care. I hope whoever the Eagles play in the first round, I hope they knock him out. I just don't want the Cowboys in. I'm happy about that. I know, right, Katie? You feel dirty for celebrating the Eagles. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But we're looking at some serious coaching changes. With the Redskins looking for a head coach, Carolina looking for a head coach. Quite possibly the Browns are going to be firing Freddie Kitchens. Jason Garrett is going to be out in Dallas because they didn't make the playoffs. That's just 4. I'm sure there'll be more as we get, there's questions about the Giants head coach. There's questions about the Jets head coach. Although the Jets did win the 6 out of their last 8 games. So maybe he's still going to be there next year. We don't know. Other things at the end of the season, Eli could be retiring. Phillip Rivers may not be a Charger next year. There's going to be some action during the offseason. That's gonna make things interesting as well. Hang on. Elliot says he's coming back. Just give him a second. You know what? They are. They're going to get rid of. And you're talking about. I know you're talking about. You're talking about the GM. The Redskins are going to move him out of the front office in the GM role. Well, Brett, and Andy Dalton is going to be gone. Yes, Andy Dalton is going to go because they got the number 1 overall pick. They're gonna pick up Burrow from LSU in the draft, and they're going to have their new franchise quarterback. Andy Dalton is done in Cincinnati. Whether he retires or he goes to someone else, I don't know. But the offseason should be pretty active. And I'm like, yeah, Allen, correct, Katie. That's what I'm talking about. George Allen, Dick Allen, whatever his name is. I know it's not George Allen. George Allen was the head coach long ago. But yeah, the Redskins are going to get rid of him and have someone else shop for the groceries and quite possibly do a head coaching search. There's talk that Ron Rivera might be going there. Also, your old head coach from Green Bay might be going there. So who knows? Mike McCarthy. That's who I meant. But you know, it is what it is. I'm excited about it because I love off season as much as anybody else, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the off season. Well, Brett, John Elway is not the greatest GM in the world. I agree with you there, and he hasn't shown that he can pick a decent franchise quarterback. Although that kid that's playing for him now, he's done okay. He hasn't been, I know, he hasn't been lights out, but he's been okay. So, and Katie, I don't know that there is a market for Dalton, unless you're talking maybe, I don't know, maybe Miami, because they need a quarterback down there. Josh Allen, Josh, what's his face isn't going to be the answer in Miami. He's proven that already. Hang on 1 second. All right, so Kenny's going to be here later. Elliot says he's going to be here soon. Bob is going to be here, so we should have a full house. I haven't heard back from John yet, so I don't know what he's doing, but it is what it is as far as the coaching going. Blaine, the sports genius, is here. Hi, Blaine. You're right, Brett. Drew Lock is not bad. They do need more pieces in Denver. It's just that Elway hasn't given them those pieces, whether it be the offensive line, wide receiver, or whatever. Elway seemed to be more focused on getting the right quarterback in there and then getting the other pieces involved. The defense is pretty solid. Maybe a couple holes in the defense at this point, since because of free agency and trades and whatnot. But for the most part, the defense is solid. They have been for years. But yeah, it's very interesting. No, he did not. Wait, no, he did not just beat the Pats, Katie. That was not Josh from Miami. That was actually Fitzmagic that beat the Patriots today. So I don't know. It's going to be an off season. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious as to what the Browns are going to do with their head coaching issues, and I wish my guys would get back because I'm running out of things to say. But what I'm looking also is looking at AFC Championship with the Patriots having to play this next weekend. They may get beat by Tennessee. Yes, the Magic, exactly, Katie. And I don't know, Brett. I haven't heard anything. I haven't really read into that much myself, but I don't know why Von Miller would want to leave Denver. They've got a good defense in Denver. Maybe because of the quarterback situation. Maybe he wants to win a championship somewhere. I don't know. Candidates for the Browns, Katie, I really don't know. I want somebody with head coaching experience. I don't mean college. I mean NFL. So Rivera, McCarthy, whoever else they can get a hold of, I don't care. Even Lewis, who was in Cincinnati, wouldn't be a bad decision. So I don't know. I'm not a GM. I don't know. I can't judge coaching, but I want someone who's got head coaching experience and that can run a program. Marvin Lewis did a good job. Oh, he actually made Cincinnati relevant for a while. Yeah, exactly, Katie. They'd be a damn fool to walk. But I don't know. We'll see. This is just getting started, so it is what it is. So I wish Elliot was coming. Come on, Elliot. Yeah, I mean Drew Lock is good, but he doesn't have anything around him. And Von Miller is he's the cornerstone of that defense, and I don't think he's going anywhere. to be honest. I haven't seen or heard any rumors about it. But yeah, he's a cornerstone of that defense. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. He probably saw something shiny or a squirrel. But yeah. Well, Brad, I don't know about the BS. The head coach, Freddie Kitchens' problem is he doesn't know how to be a head coach. And I'm sorry, but the play calling this season has been terrible, borderline horrific. He doesn't know when to use his running backs. He's too quick to pull the trigger on a passing play. Baker was getting killed all season long. I think he was one of the most sacked quarterbacks of all the quarterbacks in the NFL. He threw 20 interceptions this season. And it was it's been a rough year. And I think the job was too big for Freddie. I don't think he can handle it. He was good at when he just had to call plays last year, he could focus on the game plan. But because he has to do the whole thing as a head coach, the defense wasn't terrible. Although they did give up a lot of points this year, but it was manageable. And we've got a lot of holes to fill before we can worry about getting to the playoffs. Offensive line is horrendous. The two tackle spots, left tackle, right tackle, need to be filled. And hey, Lionel, we were just talking about you not too long ago. And the secondary is piecemeal. There's Bob. The secondary in Cleveland is just not. Okay, we understand, Bob. I see it. Sorry, buddy. What can I tell you? What can I tell you, man? Go ahead.
Hold on.
Come on. You can do it. You got it now?
I'm here. What's going on?
Sorry for your loss, my friend. But I can't say I'm disappointed because I'm not disappointed one bit.
I know.
With your quarterback play this year, you had no business sniffing anywhere near the playoffs this year.
Exactly. And I can't believe – and I think that as much as I have been a non-Tomlin fan the whole time, I still think that he deserved to be coach of the year for us to even have a chance.
Oh, hell yeah, because you still had a chance to make it the last week of the season. Hell yeah.
Right.
Tomlin held that team together all season long. If it wasn't for him, you guys wouldn't have been where you are. I mean, you finished second in the division. But you know what? At least you weren't 6-10.
Right.
At least you didn't finish 6-10 and lose to the Bengals.
Right.
Did you lose to the Bengals once?
No, we didn't lose to the Bengals.
Okay, all right. So at least you didn't lose to the Bengals. No. I'm just saying. Could have been worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what. The best thing that happened was Miami beating New England today. That was the best game of the day. There he is. That was the best game of the day, brother. There he is.
What up, E?
What happened, E?
I don't know. All of a sudden, you were talking whatever you were talking that mess about, whatever was slowing down or whatever, and all of a sudden my shit just froze.
Yeah, wow.
And then it took forever to fucking get back on.
Bob, Katie wants to know. Katie says, "I'm surprised you're not a Tomlin fan." He is a Tomlin fan. He was just critical of him the first half of the season, and then the way they ended up, he was
wow.
Again.
I've never been a Tomlin fan until this year.
Really?
Look.
Yeah.
Look, he had to try to win games this season with a duck collar and a reindeer. Okay?
Right.
And he managed to bring them to the last game of the season.
Right.
Right.
Before they were shooed away by Tennessee.
Yeah.
But, guys, tonight's game is going to be the game.
What a way to end the season, right?
I know.
Last game of the season.
Katie's asking for you to explain yourself why you are not a Tomlin fan, Bob.
Because since Tomlin has been there, they have about a 300 winning percentage against teams that they should beat. and they are forever losing and playing down to their opponents. And it pisses me off when they lose to teams like the Jets, last year's Raiders, the 2-14 and 3-13 teams that they perennially lose to, and we end up missing the playoffs by one game because they lost one or two ridiculous games to teams that they should have easily beat and that they are easily better than. And it's been like that for a decade.
Well, now he does have a Super Bowl ring, though, Bob.
And he inherited that.
What's that?
I said he inherited that.
Oh, so now you're pulling the Tony Dungy statement that I always pull about.
You can't put all that on
about Gruden.
On Tomlin.
You can't. You know what? You know what? I'm sorry. I disagree with you, Bob. I mean, I understand you're used to having only 3 head coaches in the history of the Pittsburgh
You can't put all that
franchise.
on Tomlin, man.
No.
Okay, Tomlin had to deal with the fucking divas like Brown and Bell.
Yes.
I said until this year, I have changed my tune probably the second half of this season.
Right.
He actually had to coach this year.
Yeah, and
Right.
he proved his coaching
And he
worth.
proved that he could coach this year because we actually had a chance up until today.
Yes.
Which was amazing because this should have been the worst year that I ever remember as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. For all intents and purposes, this should have been the worst year ever.
What do you think the stock on A.J. Brown is now?
In Tennessee?
After hooking up with Ryan
Oh, my
Tannehill.
God. That kid can ball. You see that catch he caught down near the goal line today? I mean, that ball was nowhere near – that was thrown to where only he could catch it, and he only had like a square foot of turf.
And he didn't even look down at the ground when he
to keep his feet in. Yeah.
He just did it by instinct.
Yeah. You get a frog in your throat, Elliot, or is your coughing so much?
No, I was medicating.
Okay, I understand. But yeah, guys, and how beautiful is it that the Patriots have to play wild card week?
Yeah, and the Cowboys are out of there.
And the Cowboys are out. Okay. I mean, the Patriots have to play Tennessee next week. And from what we saw today in Houston, the Patriots want nothing to do with Tennessee. Tennessee could go in there and probably –
Nobody wants anything to do with Tennessee right now.
Tennessee went 7-3 with Tannehill.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean –
Nobody wants anything to do with Tennessee right now.
That's a tough out right there, that team. I mean, if you do beat them, you're going to beat them by 3 points or less. It's going to be a last-minute thing.
If they beat them, then the following week they have to go on the road to play either Kansas City or Baltimore.
And I don't think you know what? I think Tennessee could go into Kansas City and beat Kansas City. Okay? Because of the way they run the ball, they keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. Okay? Baltimore, I'm a little more suspect of because Baltimore is also a running team, and LJ is just a freaking nature.
The only team that has played Baltimore this year in Baltimore was the 49ers.
And well, Kansas City played them pretty tough too, didn't they, before they lost that game?
That was early in the season. Right?
It was early in the season. Baltimore was, Baltimore was a different team early in the season because
this was Baltimore after they went and roasted the Rams and roasted Houston.
Yeah.
It made Deshaun Watson look like freaking what's his name, Charlie Whitehurst.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and the Browns beat them 45 to like 13 or 20 or something like that too. So they were a different team back then.
Oh, so David Blouse decided to stop throwing touchdowns and decided to start catching them instead?
Yes. 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 And there were three odd touchdowns. They one of which was a linebacker. Had a fat guy touchdown in Tampa, Atlanta lineman, and then the quarterback for Detroit, Blouse, caught a pass from who was it? Who threw the pass? I forgot who threw the pass. But yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, preseason picks at the tight end position.
We're still 8 months away.
I know. Tyler Higbee will be a top 5 tight end next season
For the Rams.
for the Rams. Just remember.
Danny Amendola was the quarterback on that play, by the way, that to Blouse.
Hey, Amendola's an all-around kind of guy. He's like that Swiss Army knife.
Yes, he is.
Did you see Barkley bust that run on the Eagles earlier?
Yes.
Woo.
How about the 104-yard touchdown return by the Chiefs today, too?
I didn't see it.
Miko
I think
Hartman
I was at the movies at the time. I went and saw Star Wars.
Oh, did you? Did you like it?
Yeah.
Good. Don't say it. Don't spoil anything for me because I haven't seen it yet. So.
Okay, well, I'm not going to say anything.
I won't ever be critical of it because.
I was going to make a general comment about it, but I'll let it go.
Yeah, I mean.
Until you tell me that you saw it.
Yeah, I may go sometime this. I mean, I may go sometime this week. Maybe next weekend on a matinee. I'll probably go catch it.
Dude, I use that Regal Unlimited. Remember Movie Pass?
Yes, I had a movie pass.
That shit is no more, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, Regal Unlimited for Regal Theaters.
Uh-huh.
They have an unlimited pass as well.
Oh, do they?
And I've been going and watching movies left and right. You know?
See, I go to matinees on the weekend when it's not crowded and it's cheaper that way.
Yeah.
That's what I usually do.
I think the last movie I went and saw at the theater was probably, Castaway.
Good Lord, Bob.
Shit. Yeah. You have been on a deserted island.
Yes, he has.
Did you find a volleyball too?
Something like that.
Did you find Wilson while you were there?
So I was talking earlier, guys. We're looking. I'm looking at the next 7 days and the coaching carousel that's going to start. We already know that Carolina and the Redskins are looking for new head coaches.
Yeah, Shermer and they're gone.
You think Shermer in New York is gone for the Giants? Okay. I think Freddie's done too.
Who? Freddie Kitchen?
Yeah.
If he's not done, then they should just shut down the organization and move again.
Yes. It's very obvious.
That's true.
It's very obvious to me that he was in over his head this year, and his play calling suffered because.
Dude, even down to that 2-point conversion.
Yes.
Okay. At the very end.
Yeah. Well, they should have gone for 2, but I don't know. It was just
odds were in favor of going for a 2.
Yes.
If you're going to lead by 1 or 2 at the end of it, but you have a chance at leading by 3,
right?
You got to take that chance.
Right.
And they didn't. And that, in the end, cost them, to be honest with you.
And I said the same thing last night when I was watching the Clemson-Ohio State game.
Yeah, why did the Buckeyes go for 2 last night? I don't understand that. I said that is freaking dumb. And in the ending, it didn't really matter because Clemson won by more than a touchdown. So, but
right, they end up winning by 6.
Yeah. So I mean, the 2-point conversion didn't mean anything.
But at that point, if you know anything about football, you go for 2. When you have a 22-21 lead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you get a touchdown. You do not kick.
They know that in Pop Warner.
Yeah, you go for 2 because you want to be up by 3 points at the very end. So that a field goal doesn't
Tiny Tots football knows that shit.
Yeah.
Right. And if you are, you don't even have to be a math guy. You just got to know a little bit about football.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Buckeyes, but the Buckeyes shot themselves in the foot last night. They missed a couple of field goals last night, and they settled for field goals where they should have been scoring touchdowns in the red zone.
What did I tell you last night?
Held them out of the end zone.
What did I tell you last night, Scott?
What?
That the game between Ohio State and Clemson looked like a battle of sacrificial lambs.
For
the winner
LSU.
getting the winner going to get slaughtered by LSU.
LSU looks unbeatable, and I tell you what, I don't think Clemson can go head to head, can go toe to toe with LSU in that offense. I really don't.
Dude,
I mean, I think it'll be a good game, but I think LSU pulls away and stays.
I think they score on every possession.
Yeah, I mean,
and he had
LSU,
like almost 500 yards
I
in the
don't know
first
that
half.
it's going to be that bad, but
I wouldn't bet against LSU. I wouldn't.
I'm not saying I'm betting against LSU, but
Dude, they've put up some
LSU
points.
isn't going to roll them like everybody says.
They've
they're
put
going
up points like against storied defenses.
Yes,
my friend.
Oh yeah, that offense is a machine.
What they did what they did to Alabama should have been just illegal because they just killed them.
Yeah, I mean they killed everybody, man. Come on.
Yeah. Agreed.
LSU
their
is
number 3 receiver is going to get drafted.
It could get drafted in the first round.
Yeah. Yeah. That team is loaded with freaking NFL talent.
Right.
But I feel bad for Joe Burrow because he has to go to Cincinnati. I feel bad for him.
Unless somebody trades up.
Yeah, he's going to get killed his first couple of years in the league.
Shut up.
What was that?
Alexa. She's trying to fucking chime in and give an opinion.
To join meetings, please leave the calendar in your
Alexa, shut up. Thank you.
I am going to enjoy watching Clemson get dismantled as well, Katie. They've been claiming they were, I mean, they proved themselves last night against the Buckeyes. Don't get me wrong, because the Buckeyes were one of the most complete teams in the NCAA. I'm now seeing how complete LSU is. I think the Buckeyes and LSU are the two most complete teams in the NCAA this year.
But I still think that the LSU Tigers would have destroyed the Buckeyes too.
Well, I think they would have beat them as well. But LSU has proven to be, because you got to look at it. They ran the whole gamut of the entire SEC. They faced Alabama. They faced Georgia. They faced Auburn. They faced all these big teams, Florida, and beat every single one of them.
Decisively.
Dude.
Decisively, yes.
LSU this year looked like UNLV basketball from 1990.
Right. Jerry
Nobody
Tarkanian
can
fighting
beat
his towel.
those guys, man.
Yeah, well, Jerry Tarkanian on the bench fighting his towel.
Yeah, and they put up like
when they had
triple
4 guys
digits
get
every
drafted
game.
in the NBA draft. That's only 2 rounds.
4 guys win in the first round, I think.
Well, not only that, but also violating NCAA. All those NCAA violations they end up having to go through too. So,
holy shit!
But yeah,
the Raiders came back. So, you go roll those dice, Mr. Gruden.
I agree, Katie. He needs to be brought down a peg or two. He's been whining and bitching about how unappreciated and how much lack of respect he's been getting all season long. Well, he got his respect last night, but he's about to get bitch slapped on national TV in 2 weeks. So we'll see how that goes for him.
Who's that?
Sweeney.
Oh.
Dabo Sweeney. Yeah, Dabo.
Yeah, I think they're going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
And I think the only way that Clemson will do anything is garbage time. Like the defense will loosen up after they're up by 40, 30.
Oh, I don't think that it's going to be quite that bad. But
well, shit, they destroyed fucking Oklahoma by 35. Who else did they fucking stomp on the way to
the
Georgia in the SEC championship?
Yeah, they destroyed. They fucking humiliated Georgia.
Yes, that wasn't even a game.
Not even that basically put them out of the playoff picture.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
It did.
You guys get your ass out of here. You don't belong in this.
Exactly.
And they had almost 700 yards total offense yesterday, and by
500 was in the first half.
And they put it into cruise control.
Yep.
Dude, they scored 49 points and over 500 yards in the first half. And what they finished with?
Oakland gets denied.
200 and change.
Gruden goes for 2 and misses it.
And they only scored what? 6. They finished with 63, was it?
Yeah, something like that.
14 in the second half.
Yeah. Gruden went for 2 and they missed it. Oh.
Cruise control, dude. First, Oklahoma didn't know Jalen was definitely hurt.
Well, you know what though? Jalen Hurts is going to go. It's probably second round. I think he'll be playing the NFL next year.
Heck, he's going to be probably second or third quarterback taken. I bet you he's probably still third quarterback taken.
Yeah, probably. I think Tua will go before him.
You gotta find out what's up with
guy
Tua.
from Oregon. I say.
You can say anything, dude.
I say it's going to be the guy from Oregon.
Remember that? Remember what happened?
Because Tua's injury prone. You got to watch that.
Remember what happened to Bo Jackson? Same fucking injury.
Yeah, well, the doctors have said this is nowhere near what Bo Jackson's injuries was like. They caught it. It was a different type of injury. So
it changes It changes the mindset, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I say it's going to be Burrow, and then the guy from Oregon, and then it'll probably be Jalen Hurts.
Hurts has proven himself the last 3 seasons, but both at Alabama and Oklahoma. He's proven himself.
Right. That's why I think that he is going to be the third quarterback taken.
But you know what? Don't sleep on Cincinnati if they get Joe Burrow.
Bengals don't have any other weapons right now, really. They really don't.
You know what? You get a centerpiece like that, you start finding weapons. You start making that shit happen.
You better get an offensive line that can keep him upright instead, because if not, he's gonna have a dirty uniform every week.
But you know what? After a while, I mean, the whatchamacallit, the Lewis freaking project, 15 years, 18 years? How long was he there, Marvin Lewis?
Marvin Lewis was there for a long time, and
right. And everything gets stale when you got one person running the shit forever that has not shown any sign of success at any particular point in time.
Yeah. Katie says that with Bo Jackson, the doctors misdiagnosed it, which caused the complications, whereas Tua's doctors have diagnosed it correctly, and by all accounts, he's avoided complications.
Plus, when Jackson did his, they didn't have MRI and all that bullshit.
They didn't have the medical knowledge they had down. Correct.
That's been 30 years now.
Yeah. Almost, yeah. And Drew Lock is 4-1 at Denver, so he might be the quarterback they're looking for.
I wouldn't waste a pick after his performance over the last few weeks. At least not a top pick.
He looked good.
Man, one more game, and it's the
game of the. It's going to be the game of the year, actually, because for all the marbles in the NFC.
I'd hate to give it that label because it sets too high of an expectation.
Yep.
But if it's like any other Seattle, San Francisco,
you got to go back, look at the history where the Seattle and San Francisco play each other. Oh my God, the last 10 years this rivalry has been off the freaking chain, man.
Richard Sherman,
and
he's been on both sides. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
From the Legion of Boom and all that bullshit.
Yes, Katie, we are old. Go. I know. I don't want to hear it.
No, we're not old. We are not old. We are just
well seasoned.
Well seasoned.
We are well seasoned and well versed in what we are talking about.
Yep, and we have marinated well.
Facts.
Like fine wine. We have fermented to high quality.
I need to run out real quick. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
All right.
Come on, man. San Francisco's got to win today.
Hey, where did Green Bay come from? I haven't heard too much about them, and they got a first-round bye.
Quietly. They can actually be the number one.
I know, but haven't heard too much about them all year.
They've been playing under the radar. Dude.
And I didn't realize that they are very quietly 13-3.
Yeah, well, they got better after San Francisco put that whooping on them in the middle of the season. After that was a wake-up call for Green Bay.
I didn't realize that they were quite.
So the Giants are going to pick number 4. Hey, wow, the Browns have to wait till 10.
This is what happens. If Seattle wins, the Packers are the number 1 seed, and the Saints are number 2.
Right.
If the Niners win tonight, the Niners are number 1 seed, and the Packers are number 2. The Packers are 13-3, just like the other 2 teams are. They're 13-3. They've only lost 3 games all season.
Right.
And you don't.
But
It
the
doesn't feel like it. But they are 13-3.
Right. And
well, they've been doing it quietly.
I realized that they were good. I just didn't realize that they were 13-3.
Who's been the bigger stories in the NFC?
Well, it's been Seattle and San Francisco.
San
Francisco
and
New Orleans.
Yeah.
San Francisco, for as long as they were undefeated and still up until now, they had 3 weeks in a row. They had classic games.
Yep.
In Seattle, Baltimore,
yep.
and New Orleans. You know what I'm saying?
And like didn't hear the only thing you heard about Green Bay all year was
that they got whooped up by San Francisco. They got their asses whooped by San Francisco. That's the only thing you heard. And then all of a sudden,
and how bad Aaron Rodgers is doing. He hasn't thrown for 250 yards passing in 7 straight games and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
but yet
that's because winning. Aaron Jones has been
running lights out. That's why the run game they actually have a running game this season. Yeah, the problem with the Packers is
Adams, they know what's up.
The big issue with the Packers is their defense, like Katie was saying. You can't trust the defense. That's the only thing about the Packers. They have a problem.
It's also been what I'm saying is
ate up the Vikings
way under the radar too, because I didn't quite realize that. As much football as I watch, I don't pay attention.
How much have you heard of Aaron Rodgers all season? Very little, right?
He's been very quiet.
Yeah.
He's been down. He's been hanging in the weeds, yo. Luring everybody into his part of the jungle.
He has been very quiet.
If they get the number 1 seed,
which makes them even scarier.
If they get the number 1 seed, I can see them going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because if the playoffs have to go through Lambeau Field, everybody's in trouble.
Yeah, Green Bay's going to the Super Bowl if they finish with the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Period. Because ain't nobody going up to Lambeau.
Times and I thought,
ain't nobody going up to Lambeau to take out Green Bay unless it's Eli Manning.
So Bob, let me ask you this. I'm curious because, I mean, I don't know how much you pay attention, but what do you think about Ben being back next season? How do you think it's gonna be?
He better be back.
You think he's got 1 more year or at least 2 more years in him?
You better.
Well, let me put it this way. They really seriously need to think about drafting a quality quarterback to back him up.
Yeah, because the 2 they've got to back him up right now are,
those 2 do not equate 1.
No, they don't.
No. I agree. And that's why he better be back. He says he's coming back and he will be back.
He looks like he's gained a lot of weight, though, in the offseason, like he's eating a lot of wings or something.
Yeah, and that beard is like –
yeah, that beard has just got to go. That's just – I mean, Jesus Christ. He's got the whole Grizzly Adams thing going on. It's scary. He looks like a totally different person, but he looks like –
passed out next to a garbage
he almost looks as fat as me. That's bad. That's how big he looks.
If he passed out next to a garbage can, people think he's a fucking drunk.
I know, right? Katie says that, number 1, a lot of what having to do with the success of the Packers has to do with the new head coach LaFleur, and she thinks the Niners can win in Lambeau. I think the Niners can win in Lambeau.
Oh, the Niners can win anywhere.
Yeah.
They've proven that. I mean, come on. They went toe-to-toe with New Orleans in the Dome.
Yes.
Okay. They went toe-to-toe with Baltimore in Baltimore.
Yes.
It's pretty treacherous weather, and still only lost on a last-second field goal.
Correct.
The other loss they had was to Seattle on Monday night, again, overtime. And they should have won that game because they had a replacement kicker that badly missed a field goal at the end of the game that would have won. Okay. So the only hiccup that the 49ers have shown all season is last week's loss to Atlanta.
What? The loss to Atlanta?
The loss to Atlanta last week was kind of a little bit of a hiccup. But you know what I think happened there? I think they were looking forward to the Seattle game.
Well, they played in Atlanta. Well, first of all, it was in Atlanta, number one.
No, it was in San Francisco.
Oh, was it in San Francisco? I thought it was in the Dome.
Oh, it was in San Francisco.
Okay.
That's why, like I said, San Francisco.
They were looking past Atlanta for this game this week.
They're looking past Atlanta to Seattle, and I think Seattle might have done the same thing with Arizona. Look past them.
Yeah, because Arizona kicked their ass last week.
Exactly. So you got to think both teams are coming in with everything they got. It's going to be interesting. And then Marshawn Lynch, throw him in the mix.
Yeah, beast mode's back.
They say he's going to
Did you
carry
see that,
the ball
Bob?
about.
No, I thought I heard something about this, but
They say he's going to get about.
Marshawn Lynch is back with the Seahawks.
They say he's going to get about 10 to 15 carries.
Yeah, because their first two running backs are out with injury. So they brought in Marshawn Lynch. And who's the other guy they brought in, Elliott?
Oh, Robert Turbin.
Robert Turbin. So it's their 2015 backfield.
damn.
All over again. Okay.
Yeah,
But-
because Penny and Rashad Penny and what's his name?
Carson. They're injured. They're done.
All right, and I still don't, and that's still perfectly fine for that. They both know that offense. Both Lynch and Turbin still know that offense.
Yeah, but
still
They
has
decided to go with their Super Bowl backfield.
right.
But the problem is Marshawn hasn't picked up a football in 14 months. He hasn't played any
It's
year
a
and
nice
half.
gimmick.
Okay. And
It's a ticket seller. Come on, man.
Again, he's going to have limited carries. He's going to have maybe 14 or 15 plays a game for the whole game tonight.
You know what? I don't think he's going to do shit against San Francisco.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think they're going to have to depend on Wilson and his arm tonight and his legs.
It's so predictable, but he was like by far the biggest waiver pickup this week.
Yeah.
In fantasy.
For those that are playing their championship game this week.
First of all, if you're still picking waiver picks in week 17, you're a fucking idiot and you shouldn't even be playing fantasy.
Well, number two, if your championship game is being held on week 17, you need to stop playing fantasy football. That's another thing.
Yeah, you need to think of another
I was giving the guy beside me a hard time. He said he was in championship. I said, what kind of league plays championship that's week 17? He said his championship game was 2 weeks.
Jesus. That's stupid. As many teams that rest their
because
starters on week 17, are you kidding?
Week 17 is a very volatile week. You know what I mean? Because anything can happen. Anybody's going to play. People are going to get sat. And you're playing for a championship.
Well, not only that, but look at Baltimore wrapped up home field last week.
That's why you got to be a tactician.
They didn't play any of their starters this week. They played RG3 was their starting quarterback today.
And look how that worked out for them.
Yeah, they won, but still. Could you
play
imagine?
You play all season with Lamar Jackson, and in your championship game, you're stuck with freaking RG3.
Yeah.
Nah, actually, I would have found somebody. I would have had a second quarter.
I wouldn't have started RG3 now.
No. He wouldn't have even been on my radar at all.
Not at all.
I would have hoped that I had my second quarterback was a formidable, and I could just go find me a little Drew Lock somewhere or something.
Oh, I couldn't find that. I
found me Ryan Tannehill.
Infirmary.
Like I found me Ryan Tannehill in the middle of the season.
Tannehill's been a good fantasy quarterback this year.
I picked him up way back in week 8.
Yeah.
Week 10, I think it was. Dude, I was convinced. I was sold with Tannehill. Because what he did with that team, I was like, Mariota sucks, man.
Yeah.
His style just ain't for that offense.
Right.
It ain't.
Just in, Browns are firing their head coach. Hold on a second.
Hey, Kitchens is gone. Hey.
Hang on.
And it starts.
Hey, he got kicked out the kitchen. Where's he going? To the basement?
Hang on. Is it
They
here?
got rid of the kitchen. Hey, that's one less room for Baker to clean on them damn commercials. A.J. Brown, baby. He's going to be a top 10 wide receiver next season.
Freddie Kitchens has been relieved of his duties as head coach. Brown's statement. We thank Freddie for his hard work and commitment to this organization, but did not see the success or opportunities for improvement to move forward with him as our head coach. Our focus is on hiring an exceptional leader for this football team, which Freddie wasn't this year. And we will take a comprehensive approach to this process. We are excited about the core players we have to build around and develop, and we look forward to bringing in a strong head coach that will put this group of players in the best position to succeed. Thank you, Jimmy Haslam. Thank you.
We were going to fire him when he didn't go for that 2-point conversion. But
John Dorsey. Statement from John Dorsey was, I would like to thank Freddie for his dedication and efforts this past season. We are disappointed in our results and feel a change is necessary. Freddie is a good man and a good football coach. We wish he and his family nothing but success. So, yeah, he's done. He's out. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Browns have now had 11 head coaches since returning to the league in 99.
So who goes
to the Browns?
Who goes to the Browns now?
Well, you've got Mike McCarthy out there. You've got Ron Rivera out there. You've got Marvin Lewis out there, who are born leaders and previous head coaching experience. That's the top 3 on my list.
Marvin Lewis has to be third on that list.
He is third on that list, yes. I would prefer a guy like McCarthy, who has played with Aaron Rodgers and is a good coach for quarterbacks.
I like Ron Rivera.
Or Ron Rivera is a great leader as well. So either one of those two would be fun.
Too.
Huh?
He's a disciplinarian.
Or Ron Rivera?
Yeah,
yes.
He's no nonsense. Man.
Yeah, you don't take no shit from anybody.
Does have ties to Cleveland too?
Ron Rivera?
No, McCarthy.
McCarthy does, and Rivera doesn't.
No, Rivera doesn't.
Did McCarthy interview with Carolina?
Who was McCarthy interviewed with the Redskins, and maybe even Carolina?
And now I'm hearing New Orleans is going to sign Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown did a tryout this week with the Saints.
They said they were impressed and they want to sign him.
They were impressed, but they will not sign him until he gets his off-field issues resolved with the NFL. So that might be extended.
See, he's no longer the best AB in football.
No, he's not.
It's his cousin.
Yeah.
Down in Tennessee. That's the best AB in football now.
Yes. Well, you know what? And you know what? Freddie did a good job as offensive coordinator the second half of the season after they sent Hugh Pack and Doug and Greg Williams was the head coach. The reason why the Browns were successful the last half of last year wasn't Freddie Kitchens. It was Greg Williams, because Greg Williams is also a disciplinarian, and he can make sure things get done.
No, but you see, Greg Williams is an underhanded, sly motherfucker, too.
He is. I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
So I don't trust that motherfucker as far as I can see him on the fucking TV screen.
No, I don't either. Right. He's because of Bountygate in New Orleans, because of
all that shit, dude.
Yeah, all that shit. Yes.
He's crooked.
Yes.
All right. He's crooked.
Yeah. I wouldn't want Greg Williams either because of his past.
Yeah.
Greg Williams is better being a defensive coordinator than he is being a head coach.
Up in the booth.
Yes, put him up in the booth or put him on the up in the booth or in the sidelines. As long as he answers, he's better off answering to someone on the coaching staff than he is being in charge of the coaching staff. And there's John Olson.
Exactly.
Olson, what's going on, brother? You not going to come or what?
There you go.
Hang on. He fell asleep. He just woke up.
Oh, well,
John, get your ass in here. Let's go. We're not done yet.
On your face, fool.
Hang on.
Sounds like a palm bath to me.
Come on, John.
Hold up, man. I got to go refill.
Refill.
My tea.
Come on in here, John. Get up here. Don't make me resend the damn link to you.
So who's next to get fired?
Let me put on my makeup. I would think the guy in for the Giants.
Okay.
The Giants for head coach. I don't know anybody. I don't know of any other coaches that would get canned. They're not going to fire the coach in Chicago. They're not going to fire the guy in Cincinnati because it's his first season and he inherited a bad team.
He inherited nothing and he still has nothing.
Correct. But they're going to keep him around because Burrow is there, and that's why they're going to keep him, I think. I can't see any other coach really. And I think Jacksonville. I think Khan's going to get rid of the guy. Going to get rid of his head coach as well.
Hey, check this out. See that?
What is that?
It's a space pod. No, I'm just kidding. It's a medical grade marijuana vaporizer.
Hi, John.
So basically, you put your medical up in here. It heats up and all that, and then they have these bags that you fill up with.
Oh, okay.
It's a legal bong.
It's a legal bong, in other words, what you're saying.
It's a licensed bong.
Yeah. Mr. Olson, he's sitting there.
What's up, John?
Got beat by
the Jets
today, but he doesn't care because they're in the playoffs.
He doesn't care because they're on their way to Houston.
They barely beat our fourth string guys.
Yes.
Okay? Like,
yes.
Take it easy.
Nathan Peterman could beat the Jets. But maybe not.
We're just, in case you haven't heard, John, the Browns have announced they have fired Freddie Kitchens.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
You mean the 33 to whatever loss to the Bengals?
33-22.
Hey, rumor has it he was in the bathroom when they were doing it. They took the kitchen out of the bathroom.
4 hours after losing to the Bengals, they have fired their head coach.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Like I said, they should have fired him after not going for that 2-point conversion. Dude. That's when they should have fired him. You know when he was done in that whole Myles Garrett situation. After that, I think Freddie Kitchens' days were numbered.
Poor Freddie.
The Browns have now had, and as I was saying earlier, the Browns have now had 11 head coaches in their history since 1999, 6 alone under the Jimmy Haslam era. Elliot and I were celebrating earlier because the Patriots do not have a bye in the first round of the playoffs. They actually have to play in the first round of the playoffs.
No bye.
They will be playing, and they will be playing the Tennessee Titans, which
a red-hot Tennessee Titans team.
Nobody wants a piece of Tennessee because Tennessee is a good football team.
And they got the new star out there in A.J. Brown with the reborn Ryan Tannehill, who's, by the way, congratulations, going to his first playoff game.
Who, Ryan Tannehill?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yes, and of course, it's always a great time when both Dallas and Pittsburgh are not in the playoffs this season. Sorry.
So Dallas is out?
Yes,
Dallas is out. Philly is in.
And Jameis Winston is now a 30-30 guy. 33 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in the season, including today, which is 30th interception.
Dude, he threw a walk-off
interception.
Pick six.
Yes, it was a walk-off pick six to put an exclamation point on the season. The first day, his first game, the very first pass he threw was a pick six. The last pass he threw on his rookie contract was a pick six. So,
and
full
John,
circle.
You weren't here when I told you the prediction next year is David Johnson is going to run for 1,500 yards for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, huh? Okay. That's fine.
I think Drake is situated firmly now in Arizona, and it's time for David Johnson to go somewhere where he can be coached properly.
I'm so not even awake yet.
Like with Bruce Arians.
Well, here's what's going on. Okay, Titans won in Houston. They're in the playoffs. Knocks out Pittsburgh.
David Johnson will not run at. Wait, hold on. I have a dispute on that one.
What? You won't run.
David Johnson will not run for 1,500 yards because he will stub his toe before he gets that far. He will sneeze wrong and crack a rib.
He'll do it.
Now he has a stub toe and be out for the year.
He needs a fresh start, man.
Right.
Just like Tannehill. Look at Tannehill now. He's going to be going in as the starting quarterback of the Tennessee Titans into the playoffs, and then on to next year. Now he's back to being a potential big money quarterback. You know what I'm saying? He found his home in Tennessee.
I'm trying to get John caught up from the day, okay? Dallas beat the Redskins, but Philadelphia beat the Giants. So Philly wins the division. Dallas is out.
Yeah.
Poor Dallas. So is Garrett fired yet or no?
Not yet.
No, but
Freddie was the first victim. Freddie was the first one fired.
Yeah, Jerry Jones hasn't made it out of the luxury box yet. He's in there stewing right now.
I did.
awesome.
And Brian Bosworth will be ringing the 12 bell tonight, by the way.
Yeah, I
Seattle.
just saw him right now.
That is if Bo Jackson doesn't run him over first. John's not quite old enough to remember that, but that's okay.
No. I literally just woke up, man. I'm kind of in a daze.
All right, San Francisco in the all white.
Is there a Sunday game? There's not a Sunday game, is there?
San Francisco and Seattle.
Niners and Seahawks for the
NFC West crown. Yes,
title. Right. Okay.
If Seattle wins, the number 1 seed goes to Green Bay, and then Seattle would be number 2, and then
would New Orleans be number 2?
No, I'm sorry, New Orleans would be number 2, and Seattle would be number 3. If San Francisco wins, they're the number 1 seed, and Green Bay is number 2, and then New Orleans would be number 3.
And Seattle drops to 5.
And Seattle.
Whoever loses tonight's game drops to 5.
Right. Whoever loses tonight's game drops to 5.
And has to go play in Dallas.
Go to Dallas.
Oh, no, Philadelphia.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Philadelphia.
Dallas is out.
Yeah, Philly. Has to go to Philly. Who won the division with an 8-8 record.
Yeah.
But yet they still get a home game.
It's exciting.
The 5th seed will be 12-4, but yet they have to go to Philadelphia, who's 8-8. Go figure. It's just stupid. It's just stupid.
Go see chickens.
Yeah, go see chickens. Exactly. So, John, how are you doing?
Fantastic.
Good.
Got some Java, so I'm just
some coffee with the Buffalo Bill on it.
And there's Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, I bought this 20 years ago, and it's still one of my favorite mugs.
Of course it is.
Yummy. It's tasty. So how was everybody's Christmas?
Mine was very good. I was at my folks Tuesday, Wednesday, and part of Thursday. Came home Thursday. I had been off work since a week ago Friday, so I've been just being a bum most of the week.
I don't even know what day of the week it is.
It's Sunday, John. That's why we're doing the show, because it's Sunday.
But it's the week between Christmas and New Year's.
It's a blur.
This weird time of the year. You never know what day it is. And
right.
You're not, it feels like Sunday and Saturday, but it's actually Tuesday.
Well, I do go back to work tomorrow. I work tomorrow and Tuesday. I'm off Wednesday for New Year's Day, of course. And then I work Thursday and Friday. So,
don't worry yourself too much, John, because as long as you didn't watch the LSU game yesterday, you didn't waste any of your time.
Didn't watch anything.
Oh, yeah. But it's LSU and Clemson for the national championship because my Buckeyes got beat last night. So I know you don't care. It's all right. It's all good.
Still to this day.
I know, because you were trolling me with Raptors news last night, so it's all good.
Oh, yeah. They are playing right now. I think they're losing, actually. That's not good. No, we're down by 1 with a minute left.
Didn't Boston smoke them in Toronto the other night? And
then we went and smoked.
Returned the favor in Boston
yesterday.
In the TD Garden.
Yeah, we destroyed them by 20 points or some shit yesterday. Yeah,
it was 16 or.
Yeah, Boston.
Doesn't matter in basketball.
That will not
regular season. About 60 games.
Hey, you know what? The Washington Nationals
playoffs anyway.
You know that the Washington Nationals put a total kibosh on home field advantage for the rest of my life.
Oh, hey, baseball news.
Yes, Toronto signed somebody.
We spent money.
Unbelievable.
$80 million, in fact.
Yes.
Did you get a water boy?
Yeah, we paid for a water boy.
Oh, David Price?
Well, that was the rumor. The rumors that they were trading. They were talking to talked about that last week, right?
Yes.
Whatever. No, we signed Ryu. Show Ryukin.
Is that Korean?
Yeah, he's Korean.
Yeah.
Guy. Yeah, he's second in.
The
Cy
guy
Young
that
votes
pitched for the
last-
Dodgers?
Yes.
Yeah, Dodgers guy. Yeah.
That's a good pitching.
Great signing, man. Dude's a baller, man. So
Now he's got to learn a whole new language.
Yeah, well, he did you see?
He barely
saw his
learned how to
press
speak
conference?
English. Now he's got to go learn. How to
No. He went one step further on his press conference. He's like, "Hello, Canada. Bonjour." In the deepest Korean accent you could possibly imagine.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, he's a fan favorite already. Rocking number 99, so I'm sure that'll be a very popular jersey this coming year. So.
Oh, and John, did you hear that the Seattle Seahawks signed Marshawn Lynch this week?
Yes, good for Beast
yeah,
Mode.
he just ran out.
I'm a fan of Beast Mode just because he'll always be forever a Bill in my heart. I'm a fan of Marshawn Lynch. So
didn't he go from Green Bay to the Bills?
No, Buffalo drafted him, man.
Yeah.
First
round.
I remember in there. I got lost in there somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, big shout out to. So, what did I say all year about the Bills? What did I say? Who was the guy that I said they should just put in the lineup?
The Duke.
Duke Williams. What does he do? 6 receptions, 108 yards. Just bullying dudes today. Getting the ball and still yards after contact, still going another 5 or 6 yards after it. Of course, he won't start next week because,
it's the playoffs and they're bringing back the starters in, yeah.
You know who's going to be scary? That N'Keal Harry of the Patriots.
Hey, he's Canadian.
That kid is a beast. Okay? Beast. He made a catch today. He's already in the highlight reel.
He's a Canadian guy. He's born in Canada. There's another Canadian in NCAA, Hubbard, who broke a bunch of records for Oklahoma State or some shit like that.
Little news update. The Bolts are leading the Detroit Red Wings 1-0 in the first period. After beating Montreal last night 5-4.
In the category of who gives a fuck.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Who's talking about hockey right now, man? You got fucking NFL playoffs coming up.
Hockey's the other one that's about 60. The regular season's about 60 games too long, and then everybody makes playoffs anyway.
Oh yeah, it was Christmas
just like
Day
basketball
that the Raptors got their ass kicked. Hey, how about the way the Clippers took the Lakers deal?
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, man.
That was good. Even though to be brutally honest, I really don't care about Kawhi, but I mean,
they already have him doing a New Balance shoe commercial.
I'll never buy New Balance now.
He's in LA doing a New Balance.
You bought the socks. You're done, right, John?
Not just socks. He's doing shoes.
I bought the socks, and as soon as he didn't re-sign with I said I'm never buying another thing of New Balance ever again. I'm loyal to my players' brands. So
watch one of your kids be CEO of New Balance one day.
Yeah, good times. Good times to be had by all. What else is going on? Who knows? But I'm excited. 2020, end of the decade. What was your favorite decade story? Mine was obviously the Toronto Raptors winning it all, but
getting the job I have now almost 5 years ago.
No, I'm talking sports, man.
Oh, sports?
Unless you're jogging to and from, your work and you're in a little.
My best sports moment the last 10 years?
Yeah, best sports moment of the last 10 years.
Well, I'm a Browns fan. I don't have any good moments for the last 10. Browns, Indians. Well, I mean, I guess you could say the Cavs winning the championship, but I'm not a big basketball fan, so it didn't really matter to me. I don't know.
You mean you guys haven't been flooded with the top 10 moments of the decade shows on ESPN?
Oh, yeah.
I've avoided them like the plague because
they're everywhere here.
They do this every fucking year, yes.
Dude, you know what the news is up here, though? This is so Canada. You know what it is, right?
What? Was it curling?
No, close, though. Close. Keep guessing.
Greg
The
Koch.
World Junior Hockey Championship.
The World Junior Hockey Championship.
Yeah,
oh my
because
God!
the only country that gives a rat's behind about this stupid tournament is Canada, and they try to make this some big deal up here. So we got blown out by Russia the other day, 6-0. Everybody's calling for everybody's heads. It's like they're teenagers, guys. They're freaking 15 and 16 years old.
Yeah, but isn't like hockey life and death starting at the age of 3?
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's like force fed to you. It's changing. I'll tell you, it's changing. Basketball's really put a dent into, what kids really watch. Like, for example, for Christmas, my nephew came over, and he's about 10 years old. And my wife is like, well, what should we get him? And I'm like, I know what to get him. Basketball cards. A whole set of Toronto Raptors trading cards. Boom. Easy. He got it. His eyes lit up. Happy, everybody, and then his part of the family's like, well, didn't you want hockey cards instead? The kid's like, no, I want basketball cards.
Is Maddie doing this?
Maddie? No,
Yeah.
Matthew's, he's a jack of all trades, master of none.
Master of none, right.
Yeah, unless it's like from the 40s. He loves watching hockey from the 40s, apparently.
See, since Toronto won a championship, that kind of knocked the Maple Leafs luster down some.
I don't think – you know what? And I bet you – I don't think – if the Leafs ever do win the Cup, it'll be huge. Like, it'll be massive.
It will be.
It won't be bigger than what the Raptors did. It won't be. 3 million people at a parade? 3 million. Toronto's only got 4 million people in it. So that's 3/4 of the entire city was there. I mean – I don't know. It's just times are changing, man. Hockey is it's a really expensive sport. Kids getting into it need to have like $1,000 invested in equipment before they can even play. What do you need with basketball? You need a $20 basketball, some decent shoes, and some shoes, right? So it's changing.
And a pair of raggedy ass shorts.
Yeah.
As of right now, Jason Garrett is not commenting on the future of Jason Garrett. As of right now. That's the latest.
Because he hasn't been told he's fired yet.
No, exactly.
Jerry Jones hasn't been able to fire him yet.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, he has. He just needs time to write his resignation letter.
Raptors lost by 1 point to Oklahoma City. Awesome. So, yeah, man. Oh, look at that. Toronto 2020 or Buffalo's 2020 opponents.
Yeah.
Opponents are already set up.
Just not the days and times of the games.
Yeah, remember when we had that easy-ass schedule this year? Holy
Yeah.
shit. San Francisco, Tennessee, Patriots, Rams.
What one player do you refuse to have on your fantasy roster next season?
Julio Jones.
Alshon Jeffrey. He screwed me.
Alshon Jeffrey.
Julio Jones?
Julio Jones. I'm done with him. I'm done with him. And this is why. If I got him in later rounds, it wouldn't be a problem. But Julio Jones is a first or second round. Second round at Buck.
He doesn't score touchdowns.
He doesn't score touchdowns. So it's like you blow this draft pick on him, and you feel great when you're picking him because you're like, oh, I got Julio Jones, and then the season sets in, and he's like my T.Y. Hilton. I used to get T.Y. Hilton all the time.
Yeah, I won't. T.Y. Hilton's a guy I won't touch either. He's too.
After this season, I'm no longer touching Tyler Lockett.
Really?
Yes. Tyler Lockett almost single-handedly lost me a title this year.
Yeah.
Scoring me 2.2 points in the play.
Yeah, by the way, the John Elliott won. Not Jamal. Who finished second? Elliott.
Raj finished second.
Raj finished second. I finished third. So.
Nice.
To be all honest with you, I actually slept through the Monday night game. I didn't know what was going. No, because I was sick.
Because you were sick, right?
Yeah, and I never watched the game. When I woke up, I found out I had won the championship. If I would have woke up, I probably would have died from my sickness.
Probably.
If I had lost.
Guys, Kenny's going to come up for a little bit. Looks like he's coming up for a little bit, so we'll run late on the show if you guys have no problem with that.
Rumor has it Riverboat Ron is the next head coach of the Skins.
That's what's right now. That's the rumor. Yes.
They talking McCarthy could go to the.
McCarthy's another name being tossed around, as well as Marvin Lewis.
I don't know. Marvin Lewis doesn't have a winning track record, man. Sorry.
Neither do the Redskins.
Yeah, neither do the Redskins.
Since they let Joe Gibbs go the first time. And now is about the time Snyder took over, right?
Yes, it was.
You know, another person I'd keep off my roster, Mike Evans. You know what?
Mike Evans had a great season, but he's also one of those that
he had a great half season.
Yeah, true.
Towards the second half of the season, he was a disappointment. Matter of fact, Rashad Perryman did more in the
Rashad Perryman had a great hat in that second half, man. He had a couple of great catches today alone.
Dude, he made and the thing is, once Evans got injured, I tossed him and got Perryman. Luckily, Perryman was one of the guys that scored some points for me.
Right.
Because it was crazy because, like, we didn't score any points, me or Raj. It was like 160 to 148 or something like that. And it was because I had my injuries before the game, and he had like 3 injuries during the game where players never came back, so he was losing points like crazy. You know, we were probably the 2 most injured teams in that game.
Right.
I think I lost an average of 3 or 4 quarterbacks in all my leagues apiece this year.
Well, one thing this season has taught me is the value of a wide receiver over a quarterback in this league. I have learned my lesson.
And running backs that catch out of the backfield.
Correct. Those are my most valuable players, and quarterbacks won't win me championships. The wide receivers and running backs will win me championships. So.
And a stud.
When you're stuck with Mason Rudolph and David Blau as your quarterbacks,
you're having problems there, Bobby. You're having real problems.
I mean, I was hurting.
No, it wasn't a Declan or whatever his fucking name was.
Ducky, the Duck Man.
I had at one point I had
they were relying on a duck and a reindeer.
I had Mason Rudolph and Blau for Detroit. Those were my quarterbacks.
Yep. Katie says McCarthy is too sycophantic. Somebody needs to go in there and punch Dan Snyder in the throat and establish order. Can't say I disagree with her because Dan Snyder, he's another Jerry Jones. He likes to,
ego.
The problem. The only thing
is dripping.
The only thing that separates Dan Snyder from Jerry Jones is the age, how old he is, and number one. Number two, he does not hold his own press conference after games like Jerry Jones does. That's the only difference from Dan Snyder.
He's more Jerry. He's nowhere near as hands-on as Jerry Jones.
No, and he's not the self-proclaimed GM of that team. That was Bruce Allen. There's Kenny.
Jerry Jones, like the George Steinbrenner of football.
Yes.
He wants to be in all of them.
Correct.
Can you imagine if he
But he does a decent.
Can you imagine if he found a Billy Martin?
But does a decent job. Dan Snyder.
Can you imagine if you found a Billy Martin type football coach to coach for Jerry Jones?
No. Brett, I don't think it's there. He is. Brett, I don't think it's the end of Big Ben. Bob was saying earlier he should be able to come back next year.
Ben will be back.
Although Ben needs to get rid of the beard and lose some weight, I think, to get ready for next season.
With his new arm, with his new elbow.
Yes.
He'll be.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ken Koslow. He's in mourning also because the Cowboys did not make the playoffs. I'm sorry to hear that for you, Ken. Well, not really.
Sorry to hear that, Ken.
It is what it is.
That morning
and it makes him feel good because he's a Browns fan that you guys are suffering as well.
It's always a great day when, number one, the Pittsburgh Steelers are not making the playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys are not making the playoffs. And the Patriots have to play a wild card game. I'm happy. I'm in all in on that crap. So
I guess you've heard the news already.
Okay, Freddie Kitchens is out in Cleveland.
Kitchens
Yes.
Yeah.
He was the first one to go. Hey, Charles.
Dude,
yes,
they didn't even let him go back in the locker room.
Right. It was 4 hours after the end of the game. He may not even made it back to Cleveland at this point.
He had to go out through the visitors' locker room.
At least they didn't do to him what the.
No, he had to go.
At least he didn't pull a Lane Kiffin.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Fire him on the tarmac.
Exactly.
Although he looked like a hot dog vendor, man. He didn't look like no damn head football.
He is a hot dog vendor.
Kenny, and I've been saying all season, the problem with Freddie Kitchens was he wasn't leading this team. He wasn't doing anything behind the scenes to control the drama, to take control of this team.
He was leading them to the buffet table.
Welcome to my universe.
So, Freddie Kitchen was too much of one of the guys. That's what he was. That's pretty much what he was. He wasn't.
I remember when Freddie Kitchens was the quarterback at Alabama.
Yeah.
And if you had told me then that he would one day be the Cleveland Browns head coach, I'd have said, you're out of your mind.
Right. Yeah.
No, he's seen his last duty in the NFL.
Well, he could be keep in mind, he was the running backs coach, I think, or the quarterbacks coach in Cleveland last year.
One of the offensive assistants, yeah.
And they put him in as the offensive coordinator when Hugh was fired. And Greg Williams took over. Greg Williams was actually a great leader for the last half of the season. I wouldn't want him as a full-time head coach because of his past. But he filled in quite nicely at the end of the season and got us, and we got some wins. And Freddie, if he's focused on a single thing, is a good coach. But if you give him the keys to the friggin' car, it's not happening. He just did not have any control. He didn't have any leadership skills, and he was not able to get to keep the drama out of the press and keep the drama away from what was going on in this team. Because there's a lot of drama, a lot of head cases on this team. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I think the handwriting was on the wall after the Thursday night game with the Steelers.
Yes,
that was the beginning of the end.
That's what Bob said, or Elliott said the night that the whole thing happened with Myles Garrett. That was the beginning of the end for that team.
That was
right for Kitchens. That was the beginning of the end for Freddie Kitchens.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Okay, because he did not handle that well at all.
No. That was the beginning of the end, and today the shoe dropped. So farewell, Freddie. We will see you.
You need to bring somebody in there that can crack a whip.
Yes.
Especially
you know what? I'm looking at all the candidates out there. You got your Mike McCarthy, you got Ron Rivera, you've got Marvin Lewis as three former head coaches that are available right now. I like the Ron Rivera angle. I'd rather have Ron Rivera than over Mike McCarthy or Marvin.
Rivera's interviewing with the Redskins tomorrow, and I wouldn't be at all surprised to see him get hired pretty quick with the Redskins. So if he doesn't, then Cleveland is always open. But
they're talking about having an extensive search for a coach. We'll see what happens. We're still 4 months away from the draft, so I'm not really concerned at this point. You know what I'm saying?
How do you like? Let's see. Doug Marrone is available now. You like Doug Marrone
in Jacksonville?
Doug Marrone?
Yeah.
No.
What a Marrone!
Marrone's fired these days.
Well, you know what?
He was fired already?
Ben Kahn came back and said, no, that's not true. They have not made a decision on him yet.
Really?
That's what they said. They were saying that yesterday, yes. After that report came out yesterday, Kahn was quick to have his spokesman come out and say, that is not the case. We have not made a decision. The coaching staff will meet with leadership the middle of the week. We have not made a decision yet. So that was rolled back a little bit. So
Jacksonville turned around and won today, too.
Yes, they did. They beat the Colts.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be there.
Well, you went to that game last year. It was terrible.
Right.
It was a better game this year than it was last year.
Today too.
But it was a better game this year than it was last year.
I know, but they changed the after we bought tickets, they changed game time, and I told my friend, I said, I said, because I told him, I said, buy tickets. I said, I'll drive.
Right, but you're not driving back in the dark from Jacksonville to
I
South
said,
Carolina.
For 1 o'clock game, I said, I can be back in time to go to work. I can get back at 10 or 11 o'clock. That's fine.
Mhm.
I said, but if 4:30 game, I said, I'm not rolling in at 2 o'clock and have to go to work at 3.
Mhm.
Not doing it. Busy
Why
week
would
for
you
me.
even go home? You just roll straight to work. Take a change.
Yeah, right.
Take a bird
Not
bath.
this week. Busiest week of the year. Whoa, crap.
No.
That's true. You are getting older, so that would slow you down.
Yeah, and tomorrow's probably arguably my busiest day of the year.
Your busiest day?
Monday before New Year's?
Yeah, because I have because with New Year's falling on a Wednesday, I got like 5 extra stops tomorrow. And it's just busy on top of that.
Brett, Tannehill, not Mariota. Tannehill all day long.
Tannehill is now the quarterback. You know what? That doesn't mean that Mariota's done. He just needs to find an offense that he fits into.
Mariota may be done in Tennessee, but
Yeah, he needs to find an offense that he can, fit into. So that fits into his style.
I could see him as a pretty decent backup for now.
Good.
Yep.
I mean, there's plenty.
We'll take him.
There's plenty of.
You know what? That may not be a bad move. Mariota to Pittsburgh. That could be a good move as a backup to Ben.
Yeah. San Diego might be a place that should think about.
That's a possibility too. San Diego would be a good possibility.
Oakland?
I'm wondering.
Excuse me.
We'll take
Las
anybody
Vegas?
at this point except for Seamus.
What's today Rivers' last name?
Las Vegas.
I think Rivers might be done in San Diego in the Chargers.
Yeah.
He should be done in the NFL, dude. He should just go take his 12 kids and 4 dogs and however many other animals or children he's got running around.
Get on back to Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, go back Tuscaloosa or somewhere out there on the range somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Sweet Home Alabama.
I'm tired of seeing that freaking shot put pass that he freaking throws all the time that should be intercepted 9 out of 10 times. I just imagine what would have happened if Eli Manning would have stayed with the Chargers and Rivers had gone to the Giants.
Rivers would not have gone to the Giants. Roethlisberger would have gone to the Giants, and Rivers would have been in Pittsburgh.
But I don't think the Giants would have been smart enough. Giants weren't smart enough to take a Roethlisberger or something.
No, Giants told the Chargers
they would trade with him. Yeah.
Because Giants would have taken Roethlisberger, not Rivers. But they drafted Rivers because that was who the Chargers wanted.
That's who the Chargers wanted, right. And then
they would have taken Roethlisberger.
But they wanted Manning more.
But, yeah, they wanted Manning more.
It worked out for everybody, right? Because Ben won a couple Super Bowls. And Manning won a couple Super Bowls. And he's still undefeated against Tom Brady in Super Bowls. Just like Nick Foles in the Super Bowls.
That's a mind blower right there.
He took some damage on that one.
He did.
Being winless against Nick Foles in the Super Bowl? Really? Is that what you want your legacy to be?
Well, he's winless against Eli and Nick Foles as well. So.
Wow. That does not look good on your resume.
They've been in the last 3 Super Bowls, haven't they? And won 2 out of 3. The Patriots.
Last 3 times.
They won 2 out of 3. 2 out of the last 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to make it. I don't think they're going to make it this year.
Or something.
Last team
they're not going to make it to a 4. They might win their home game against Tennessee, but they ain't winning in Kansas City.
Or they're not winning either Kansas City or Baltimore, either one.
Exactly. I don't think they got it in. They're missing that flavor.
I think I might give them a better chance against Kansas City than I would Baltimore.
Yeah. Because at least they played Kansas City tougher than they played Baltimore. Baltimore kicked their ass.
Now the Patriots have gone to Kansas City and beaten the Chiefs in Arrowhead before. They've done that before.
Yes, they have.
Yeah,
But
they
the
did
problem
it last
is,
year.
but the problem with them this year is they don't have the offense to go toe to toe with Kansas City right now.
No,
They don't have the offense. They can't go toe to toe and score for score with Kansas City. Their offense just is not.
That's why
good.
I'm glad we're playing Houston and not Kansas City, because I didn't want to go on a shootout with Kansas
Well,
City.
you wouldn't be paying Kansas City because they got to buy.
Well, that would.
But you guys would have wound up playing in New England again.
No, the scenarios were Kansas City and Houston.
If New England would have won, they would have had the number 2 seed.
Right, and then Kansas City
would have had the number 3 seed, and the Buffalo would have gone. Buffalo would have gone to Kansas City if that would have happened, probably.
Right,
because Buffalo is the 5 seed.
Yeah, the only two teams we were playing.
Houston was locked in
Buffalo
before.
should be happy that they're going to Houston.
Houston was locked in.
Oh, we are. We're very happy.
Extremely
happy.
Kansas City is no fucking joke.
Yeah, man.
If New England beat Tennessee, then Buffalo would go to Baltimore if they win. You like your chances in Baltimore?
I don't like anybody's chances in Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't like anybody's chances in Baltimore.
Honestly, I'm seeing a Mahomes, Lamar.
I like to see that. I want to see a
Lamar
KC Baltimore AFC Championship big time. I would love to see that. Mahomes versus Lamar for going to the Super Bowl. That would be an awesome game. I don't care if it's in Baltimore or Kansas City. I don't care if it doesn't matter. That would be a great game.
That would be epic. That would be epic.
Yep, to punch that ticket to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. So, what's the over/under on Jerry getting rid of Garrett there in Dallas, Ken? As far as days are concerned, how many days?
Jason's contract ends Wednesday. There will be no.
They won't renew the contract, and Jason.
They won't be re-signing anything on Wednesday. Let's put it that way.
What about Dak? Are they going to re-sign Dak? Are they going to get his contract done?
There is a real possibility right now that they're talking about putting a franchise tag on Dak, and
that's what I figured.
Trying to sign him next year.
That's probably what the Bucs are going to do with Jameis too, is put a franchise tag on him.
Yeah, I think they will probably. I'm pretty sure they're going to re-sign Amari Cooper.
I would sign.
Dude,
I would sign Amari Cooper. Yeah,
they need to sign Mike Gallup quick, fast, and hurry, dude.
Yes,
because that dude is going to outdo Amari Cooper.
Gallup is the best named receiver in the league right now because he can't.
Gallup, giddy up.
You see him moves. He moves in those touchdowns. 3 TDs today.
I'm telling you, man, he's going to be the
number one. Truck.
He's going to be the number 1 wide receiver in Dallas when it's all said and done.
I don't know about that, but he's definitely earning his paycheck.
Cooper lately has been coming back to the Oakland Cooper, where he hasn't really produced as much.
Oh, I think he'll be even better than Oakland Cooper.
Yeah.
And on that note, I would like to bid a fond farewell, but a farewell to the Oakland Raiders.
Yes, the Las Vegas Raiders.
It will be Las Vegas next time we kick off, and that will be interesting to say the least. Strange bedfellows, but they're moving from the home of the Black Panthers and the Hells Angels to the Rat Pack. So
I can't wait to see what their halftime and pregame shows and all that shit are going to be like.
Yeah.
Because
I wonder if they're going to set up the black hole in Las Vegas.
Have you seen the pregame shows for the Golden Knights?
No.
When
they're pretty good.
Games, they're intense.
Yeah.
So they're going to be doing that for football too. You watch.
Wow.
Well, with all those casinos being sponsors, of course it's going to happen.
There's going to be casinos inside the stadium.
Yes, I'm not surprised.
I don't surprise me in the least. Sports books, you bet.
They're comparing the new stadium.
Fact, they might even have casino games in every seat.
I've heard comparisons of that new stadium to the Death Star. That's how it looks from the outside.
Friend of mine lives just outside of Las Vegas, and he drives there all the time. And she posted a couple of pictures the other day, and it looks like it's about 2/3 full. Finished. It does not look like the Death Star. It's got its own look to itself.
The one in L.A.
To be
looks
honest with you,
freaky,
from what I've seen, it looks more like the new stadium in L.A. than it does
That's what I'm saying.
Jerry's place. So
the one in L.A. looks crazy. Yo.
Well,
Yeah,
just and as a side note, the last NFL game to be played in the Coliseum was done today too. So the Rams and the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
Oh, and the StubHub Arena over in Carson too the other day.
Yeah. Well, that was last week with the Chargers.
Mm-hmm. I still wish the Chargers would move back to San Diego, but I guess that's not happening.
It's not going to happen with that new stadium, Ken. And you know what, though? They're going to have a rough first few years in L.A. getting a fan base together in L.A. I mean, either
Did you see the Raiders fans?
Yes, the Raiders fans took over the StubHub Center for the Chargers. Yes, that was hilarious. Kenny, how's the progress on the new stadium in Arlington?
It looked like a little black hole.
Looking good. Good. It's going to be ready, I believe, in March.
Ready for opening day?
Yeah.
Is that for Texas?
Rangers? Yeah, for the Rangers.
The Rangers, yeah. Yeah, the apparently was not as much damage as they thought from the fire, so
good.
It was contained pretty quickly, and they said should not be much of a problem, getting that repaired.
Well, you got a brand new Cy Young winner coming out there, so you'll be glad to have him on your team, I'm sure.
How about that? She
Rest
should
in
be.
Peace. Rest in peace.
It's not gonna make you a Rangers fan, I know, because you're a diehard Boston Red Sox fan, but it is what it is.
Rest in peace, Don Imus.
Yeah, well, who cares about Don Imus? I'm no offense.
Hey, what are you drinking?
I just thought
You're drinking wine.
Wine, yeah.
Yes, sir. After I've had about 20 bottles.
After all the shit.
After I had about 20 bottles of water this today, so I've had all.
It don't matter, dude. You need a battle buddy with this shit. You don't get it. Don't pump your body full of that crap. That's the
first
shit
thing they tell
causes.
you. No alcohol.
No alcohol means none. Zero. Cut it out, bro.
Sure. You know what? Sugar alcohol is worse than just regular.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sugar.
He knows, but he's continuing to drink.
Because it adheres to your liver as well.
I'll call him out then.
You just did.
Yeah, it's recorded too.
I know, right?
Go back. When your freaking kidneys give out on you in 6 months, we'll go back to this day and we'll say, hey, remember when you were, I got to watch what I'm doing? I'm no picture of health. I just had oxtail all Christmas, so what the hell am I saying? Nice big fatty pieces of oxtail.
It was good, though, wasn't it?
Oh, it's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anyone.
By the way, John, my hat's off to you and your Toronto Raptors after that big 30-point comeback last Sunday.
Yeah, and then we lose on Christmas Day. Then we go to Boston. Boston.
Hey, how many wins did that count for?
Yeah. And now we lost today.
They lost at home on Christmas Day, and then they turn around. And
I was posting about college football last night. He was trolling me about the Raptors winning all night long as I was posting about the Buckeyes last night, Kenny.
Well, this is the funny thing is the Raptors go and do that, and no one gives a shit. But anytime the Raptors, like you see, Kendrick Perkins is tweeting about how great Oklahoma City is. Justin Termini is tweeting how great Oklahoma and Billy Donovan is. It's like the Raptors go into TD Garden and beat the piss out of the Celtics yesterday. No mention. Not a single peep. No one even mentions the Raptors. Never. But it's okay. We like it. We like flying under the radar. We did it last year, and we kind of won it all. So
yeah.
Yeah, but as soon as someone says the Celtics or the Bucks or the Clippers or the whoa, that's the mean.
The Sixers,
honking on Bobo.
Don't forget the Sixers.
And the Sixers, yeah, because the Sixers are just the epitome of a great team. Like, how many points did Joel Embiid get that game against Toronto the other month? 0.
The epitome.
Thank you.
Oh, and a shout out to CMC, only the third back in history to have 1,000 yards from scrimmage, both running and catching. Christian McCaffrey.
How did that help Carolina?
Well, it didn't, but still, it just shows how good McCaffrey is to be able to do it with that team.
That's hilarious.
He helped a lot of people win fantasy championships, I'm sure.
I finished third because of CMC. Thank you very much.
Well, you also had a couple of big games from Breeze and Garoppolo. That gave you
Yes,
some
I did.
victories.
Garoppolo and Breeze helped me along the way. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That always helps.
Yeah, there were some turning points in the season, that's for sure.
Yes, I ended up with the season finishing with 3.
Actually, I went and looked at previous seasons, and when you beat me this season, I had no clue whatsoever. When you beat me this season, it was your first time in 8 tries.
Ever, yes, I know.
Ever,
yes.
I was like, I didn't know that Scott was 0-7 against me.
Yes, I have never beaten you until this year. That's correct.
Oh boy.
Well, then I looked deeper, and I was like, every year my record's been 11-2, and 2-0 in the playoffs. So I've been 52-8 over 4 seasons with 4 championships. That's not bad. I won my game by 38 points this year.
I never ever won a championship in fantasy football.
Neither have I. Not in
Yeah,
Bob's
but
league.
you know what? You were in the money this year, this league, or this year.
I don't think I've won since about 2011.
Yeah, I had never won in Bob and Rhonda's league. I've never won in this league. So I mean, I never won. You know, and even in the one that we did with what's his face in San Diego. I can't remember his freaking name. Not that I want to remember his name. Jeff. Excuse me, Jeff. I've never won a championship. This is the 3rd place is the highest I've ever been, and I actually was impressed with myself this year. So.
Did you ever play in any of our FFFL?
I think I did once or twice, Kenny. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
It was.
I think we were still in MSN chat at that point, maybe if possible. Yeah, I don't know.
And everybody, I played in it like I think it was the first year, and everybody was fighting too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty that league was pretty. They were petty, big time.
It was real petty.
They were very petty,
and they were fighting about stupid stuff.
Yep. Brett Murphy says that Carolina needs a quarterback.
Yeah, Cam Newton's not going to be in Carolina.
You don't think he'll re-sign Cam?
No, I think they're going to be looking to move. They might even release him.
Can you imagine?
He's becoming injury prone.
I mean, the guy led him to a Super Bowl. He's a Heisman Trophy winner.
But you know where
he's been the heart and soul of that team for the last 10 years. I can't understand.
Yeah, but let me tell you where his career started to slide. In his post-game interviews after Super Bowl 50.
Yes, I can agree with
all
that.
All he did was whine and
I can agree with that. Yes,
moan and
totally agree
criticize, and you know what I'm saying. He made himself look stupid.
He got humiliated in that game.
He cheapened himself and his whole season because he did have an MVP year.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he turned out to be the most valuable jackass in the end.
Yeah.
When he couldn't handle losing.
Yeah. Another name that's been tossed around for the Browns is Josh McDaniels. I want no part of Josh McDaniels.
And I'm sorry, but if I'm Cam Newton, look, I'm not going to feel bad about the fact that I lost to Peyton Manning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just not going to feel bad. And he never played a defense like Denver that year.
Oh, look who it is, the newborn.
So.
You got the newborn with you there, John.
Yeah, I just heard him. He was sleeping and he just woke up. So.
Oh, poor little guy.
Buddy.
So the NFL Network did their final selection last
Hey, when
Friday.
You catch up, watch this next play.
Must be the next play. The NFL Network did their quarterback, the final show of their 100 greatest players of all time.
Right.
And boy, the controversy on the picks for the quarterbacks was in high gear. Because they chose two of the guys they put in there were Brett Favre and John Elway, and fans were up in arms saying, "What about Drew Brees?" Well, first of all, the show was done back in March of this year, so Drew Brees hadn't broken the record at that point.
No.
And second of all, it's subject to That was nice, John. That was nice,
You see
Elliot.
that?
Yeah.
It was.
He stuck his foot in the ground,
And
just
boom.
barely missed that white line and spun.
Yes.
He did the Lamar Jackson on his.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. The only one that I didn't really have a problem with any of them, but the one that I did kind of question a little bit was Aaron Rodgers.
They
Rodgers
didn't select
great,
him.
but I don't know if he's top 100.
Well, we didn't know. They did not select Aaron Rodgers. He was not put on the list.
I thought I saw him on the list.
No, he was one of the nominees, but he wasn't. He didn't make the final 12.
Okay,
No.
okay. No.
I mean, the final 12. Hang on.
Okay, so I know that Bart Starr has to be in there.
Yes.
Bart Starr was nominated. Bart Starr was nominated. He was
But he
not. He
didn't
was
make
not
it.
on the final squad.
Wow. Johnny Unitas?
Yes.
Okay.
Otto Graham.
Okay.
Hang on. I gotta go. Friggin' hang on a second. Where is it?
Quarterbacks, right?
List. Where's that freaking list? Come on.
Did Joe Namath make the final cut?
No, he did not.
Good.
I didn't think so.
Joe Namath is in the Hall of Fame for one game only.
Bob Greasy? No.
No, he made he was a finalist, but he did not make the final roster. No. Hang on.
Marino.
The final roster is Sammy Baugh for the Redskins, 97 to 52. We knew Tom Brady and
Right.
Joe Montana were on it already.
Yeah.
Okay. They put
Tom Brady?
Yeah, well, Tom Brady.
Brady, Montana.
Roger Staubach.
I was going to say that next.
Johnny Unitas.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Marino. Otto Graham. John Elway. Brett Favre. And Peyton Manning. Those are your last 12.
And I think out of all those, the only one that didn't win a Super Bowl was Brett Favre.
No, Brett won one. He won. He beat the Patriots back in the mid-90s.
Who didn't win? Oh, Marino. I'm sorry.
Marino didn't win. He's the only one that did not win a championship.
I actually don't have. I mean, Sammy Baugh and
Otto Graham
were before my time.
Oh, mine too. And Elliot too.
They're way before most of our time.
Their careers were over before I was born. So yes, I'm with you there.
Right. And I know that they were great, and I know that they were Hall of Famers. But the rest of them I have watched play, and I did not have any problems with that list.
I have. Let me say this.
Look at this.
The only one I have an issue with, and it's a very small issue, is John Elway. That's the only one I have a small issue with.
Why? You don't think he earned them?
Elway's career was so up and down for most of it.
Yeah.
It was inconsistent.
No, it was not.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was inconsistent.
He was solid at worst.
In my opinion, I'm glad the way it turned out that he didn't win the Super Bowls in his early career. I'm glad he won them later.
Because I'll tell you what, as a Browns fan, I hated John Elway for most of his career. Hated him because of the fumble, because of the drive, all of that, okay?
Right.
But I guess you're solid.
But later, in his later years, when he was getting to the end of his career, I did not have a problem with him winning those Super Bowls because it was glad to see him go out on top. I was glad to see him go out on top, okay? John Elway was embarrassed in every other Super Bowl he was in besides the last two he was in. He was embarrassed.
And that was your consolation for people losing to them.
Because the Browns would have put up a better fight against any of those teams than the
well, I don't know, man. The 49ers Super Bowl.
Maybe not against the 49ers, but
I tell you what, I think the Browns might have had a shot at the Redskins. I think they would have beaten them.
The Browns would have had a shot at the Redskins because the defense the Browns had was just unbelievable.
Yes. Yeah.
But you know, Elway. I mean, and again, I don't have a problem with Elway being on the list, but he was if Breeze were to go in, the one I would take off would be Elway over Breeze. That's the only thing I would do. I mean, Elway was great. Don't get me wrong. Johnny Unitas brought the game into the modern era. Mm-hmm. Okay, and Johnny Unitas, and up until Montana came on the scene, Johnny U was considered the greatest quarterback to ever play.
Yes.
Okay. Autogram's a Brown. I have no problem whatsoever with Autogram being on. He's a Brown. I'm happy. Sammy Baugh, I don't know much about Sammy, but from what I saw on the show, he deserves to be on the list.
Sammy is the one who pretty much introduced the NFL to the forward pass.
Yeah, Sammy Baugh, because he played from 37 to 52. He had a 15-year career, and 30, which means he played through the war years, and that's when the forward pass became a staple in the league.
Right,
during Sammy's era.
Weapon.
Correct.
Which automatically puts him on the list.
Yes.
Because
no.
I mean, they're putting the Pioneers on the list that made the game what it is.
And Autogram was the same way. The thing with Autogram was he was a tough son of a bitch. I mean, if you ever saw him play, he would run people over, not just.
Hey, you really old guys, I gotta clean this kid and.
All right, John, have a good night.
I gotta get to bed too.
See you guys next year.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock.
And he's got to change his diaper too.
Yeah, because Bob's old. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, Katie, I have an issue with Elway. Anyway, guys, we're gonna close up shop. Kenny, thanks for showing up.
Hey, we did an old school 9 o'clock.
You did a 2-hour one, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because we had
that must mean it's almost the end of football season.
That's because we had these latecomers tonight, so that's why we had to do it late. We had a late show. So.
Yeah.
Now the Cowboys are done. I won't be having to worry about late games anymore. So. Maybe I can be there on time next week.
Well, after for the next few weeks, we can talk about playoffs. But we can also go into other sports as well because we got hockey ramping up. We can even talk NBA just to make John happy. Christ.
Oh, we could talk NBA. There's some good stuff going on.
Yeah. I'll probably
stories.
Until baseball season. I'll probably follow a bit more NBA than I normally would. So,
and we don't even have to talk about Cleveland.
Anyway, we are the sports nerds. We're gonna call it a night for the week. On behalf of John Olson, Bob the Bear Man, Big E, and Kenny Costello, I am the sports nerd, Scott. You all have a great week. Have a happy New Year, gentlemen.
Happy
Be
New
safe.
Year.
Don't go anywhere. Stay home and drink if you're going to do it.
See you next year.
Stay home, and we'll be here next week for the first show of the new year.
I haven't drank. I don't know when was the last time I drank.
So anyway, have a good night, guys. Dan, have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Besides, I got my volcano, dude.
I hear you. All right, and we are out. Boom.